Hola, hola chicos, buenos días. Hoy día vamos a conversar con nuestra amiga Tanya Plumrose y recuerden que ella se está conectando desde Australia, así que hoy vamos a tener un tema súper importante que son las metas, goals que se llaman en italiano, las metas. Vamos a hablar de esto y como ustedes saben, el tema es en inglés, vamos a hablar en inglés, pero no se preocupen porque voy a dejar una descripción aquí abajo en el video. ¿Ok? Okay, hello, Tanya. How you doing? I'm so happy
Hello.
you are here with
Thank you,
us.
Maritsela. Thank you, Maritsela. Thank you, darling. It's so good to be back. I'm just loving what we created yesterday, and that was very free flowing. And when it was free flowing, so many lovely divine suggestions and ideas were released to help everyone.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So tell us, remember us that you are from Australia and tell how is Australia right now there? Since yesterday you have a kind of, different weather.
Very different weather. So if anyone is on to version two, day two of the recording, yesterday afternoon, because it's summer here, there was a massive thunderstorm and it got so dark and there was thunder. And here I am talking to you, and I'm like, God, I can hear it. You probably didn't hear it, but I'm like, oh my God, all hell is breaking loose right now. And it got so dark and it gets so humid and hot, which is such a contrast from when I was living in America for the last 10 years. And I left in August last year. So I'm still adapting to not a dry heat, but rather a rather humid heat. And there is a big difference. Yes, there is. So today's a little bit
Wonderful.
better. Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing also that you moved from United States to Australia. You moved back
yeah,
because you are from Australia. And then we have this topic goals. So you
yes,
moved there because you have the goal to move to Australia.
I
So
did.
what are goals? What is this beautiful topic, goals? What does it mean?
For me, goals is a project. It's a project that if you pick the right project, and what I mean by that is pick the project that scares you and excites you at the same time. And you don't know the plan, you don't know the how, then if you plant it inside your subconscious mind with repetition, space-time repetition, the how or the plan will manifest itself, but you have to do the first part of the footwork and get clear with what you would really love. And so I got really clear that I wanted to return to Australia, or maybe 3 years ago. And I made I contemplated it for a long time. And it was a big goal. I knew I'd chosen the right goal because I was prepared to fail to achieve it. Because if you've got the right goal, you've got to be prepared to be a Sir Hillary that is going to Mount Everest summit, should I say, Mount Everest. And this goal, the funny thing was, I touched on it yesterday, it really wasn't about getting home to Australia. This goal actually, what it really did was it created characteristics within me I didn't even realize I needed developing. And it's funny, I thought it was the destination. I love being here. But success is the progressive realization of a goal. So, being here, I've heard once you achieve the goal, you can kind of have a dip in the valley and feel kind of disappointed because you've arrived. But it was the deliciousness of moving and working on the goal, that aliveness I literally became alive, more alive, working on the goal, even though it was very uncomfortable at times, working on the goal to get to Australia. It lit something inside of me, right? Even though it was painful at times. Well, not really. It was just stretching me and stretching me. So I love goals or projects because the funny thing is you can be, do, and have anything if you really, really want it, right? You can have, but you've got to be prepared to go big because you jolly well just will get it if you go really big. But most people don't dream big enough. And you know why? Because they can see the plan. They can actually see the plan. And that's not the right goal. That sort of goal, when you can see the plan, that loses inspiration very quickly, very quickly. You know where I see this? Working with real estate agents, and they all in the brokerage, in their real estate brokerage, are told, now, if you achieved this particular agency achieved this amount of sales this year. So this year we're just going to go 30% more. And everyone's working on the real estate's goal. And most people, I notice, agents just drop out very quickly. They lose their umph. Oh, oh, well, I meant to have 3 sales this month. Oh, well, I haven't achieved that, but everyone's working on that goal, so I don't need to worry. And so what I love is when I work with a real estate agent or any business owner, I say, well, what would you love to achieve that's going to make you a star in the real estate, that it's going to absolutely shock everyone that you achieve this? You achieve this big goal and absolutely took off like a rocket ship, and everybody wants to know your secret. That's the goal you should be going after. And they love that. It's almost like I give them permission, go really big. And you know what? You'll probably surprise yourself and get it. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So, when we talk about goals, as you said before, there are some people who they don't know where to go,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay. What I think is that everybody needs to be in the way that they needs to be in the and there is time for everybody. I think maybe if you don't have the goal now, it doesn't mean that you are not worthy. It just means that maybe you can have some time for yourself to be still, and then you are going to have the ideas. You are going to be sent, these messages, and then you can work on this. But, it's very important when you said goals. Also, there is a secret sauce, I think, there. And in order to have our goal, it's very important to know why. What is our big why? For example, for you, what was your big why when you had the goal in order to move to Australia?
That's a great point, actually. The why for me was my family. I think I've been away from my family for the last 10 years, and I would come home for a holiday for maybe 2 to 3 weeks every year. And I would just go home to Vegas because I was by myself there running my business. Sure, I had friends and all of that, but there's something like family. And I could see my parents really aging, 88 and 96. And I just made that decision that I really want to come home and be part of their transitioning, because I think it's a great honor and privilege that if you're there as your parents move on to another life, and to thank them. And I think it's a great gift you give your parents when you thank them for everything they've done for you, and you allow them to go to another dimension with peace, that they've done their best and that they're very much loved and respected. And that was my driving why to come home, to be part of their transitioning to, I consider it's a great act of service you can do. And what an honor it is you get to choose to do that, right? It's very much of a healing if you can be there to help your parents move on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It is
Mm,
really wonderful that you share with us your why, because sometimes maybe people can go to the goal because they forget the why. That's why it's
yeah.
very, very important to have why. Why I'm doing this?
Yep.
What is the idea of this? What is the intention of this? What I do want to have out of this? So, do you think also that the why is very important?
I do, because the why is the fuel that drives you to persist in working on the goal every single day when you don't feel like it.
Yeah,
It's the fuel that
yeah.
keeps the desire, that keeps the fire behind the goal to keep going no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. And it comes to my mind, for example, as I told you a little bit yesterday, my father decided to, to quit, let's say, and to have another family, and he left us without nothing. So we were
Mhm.
three kids. And my mom was 20, 23, 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah, with three kids. And I remember I was five, my brother was seven, and my sister was three. And my mom has nothing. We have no roof, we have no house, we have nothing because my father decided to sell everything and he just disappeared. So I remember the why for my mom. She says always, my why were the three of you. I didn't have time to
Wow.
say, no, I can't. I had to work because I have this big why were the three of you. And I remember, for example, I saw my mom getting up so early, even at the hour that you said before, that you get also very, very early, but not just in order to go for a walk, in order to work. And yeah,
Wow.
I'm talking about maybe it is 40 years ago, all of this. And I remember that she used to work also in houses. She used to work, different jobs in order to have the money just to give us, to feed
Wow.
us. So when I found some clients who says, but I don't know what is my why. Look for your why, because there is a why there. Look for your why. What, as you said, is really your fuel. So
Mhm.
look for your fuel, and remember, if you don't have the goal, it's because you are so comfortable where you are.
Correct.
And our
Correct.
mind, our brain doesn't want us to succeed. The brain just has this beautiful work to protect us.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
So that's why it's very, very important to work on our why, to work on our mindset. And talking about this, as you said before, you have this big why in order to go to there, and now you are there, you arrived to your goal.
Mhm.
So how do you see this? How do you feel? Because you said it was not the goal, it was the way, was the person that I became. So
Yeah.
how do you feel now with this?
I feel very much I am a different version of myself and a little bit more fearless now. So when I came home, I haven't stopped. I'd never stopped. So the moment the Dunlop wheels touched the ground in Brisbane, I went to stay with my parents for 5 weeks and I couldn't stop. I had to find accommodation for myself and the cats. I had to reestablish myself in Australia. But thank goodness I had the right characteristics that have been built in me for stamina, for persistence, for confidence, for definitely negotiating, like getting on with it. I just couldn't sit still. It was like, right, now, what are we doing? We've got to set up bank accounts again. You've got to go and do this. So the fuel from arriving, um, I realized it can take you even for the next thing. The next thing presented itself, but I was in beast mode to go. You've got to keep going, Tanya. You're not going to sit here at your mother's home. You've got to keep going and get yourself established here. And that's what I did. Thank God I knew the guts it took to leave America with the cats. And then I pivoted off that to keep going to reestablish myself here. So I've been home since August and I literally haven't stopped. Even when I moved into my apartment, literally the day after I moved in, the removalist truck came with all my belongings from America. And I spent 3 days unpacking everything by myself. Oh, there was such heavy lifting to do it. But I kept saying to myself, Tanya, this is nothing compared to what you had to go through in America. So can you see, you can always take your painful or your uncomfortable memories and then compare them to where you are now and go, well, if I can get through that, I can do this. I'm doing it. So that's what's so beautiful. You pivot off what you consider to be so arduous, but that helps you carry out the next things that you need to do. And then when I moved in here and packed everything, I thought you got to now start business. So I started networking. I then put all flyers together and I literally walked and threw a flyer to threw a flyer to all the real estate agencies here, 16 in the heat. I literally walked the streets to hand in these flyers. And then I kept saying, keep going. You can do it. You've been through worse. Just keep going. This is easy. This is easy. So can you see when you only have to prove to yourself once that you can move through a lot of uncomfortability and then it gives you so much confidence to do anything once you've done the hardest thing first. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I really do agree with this. And it's it's wonderful the way you show us what your mindset is. But you have this mindset now because you work on yourself. But let's go back a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
now you are this beautiful person who really
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of success, who really reached the goals. But let's go back a little bit
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there is the Bob's book, the
Mm.
name You Were Born Rich, and
Yes.
in the book he says, um, if you wear, songs from rich people, from successful people, you don't have to work on your mindset. Even you work also in your mindset, but you don't have to do this hard, let's say, hard work, no, this huge work. And uh, if, for example, if you wear a song from, let's say, from the queens of your country, for sure you have a different mindset. And what do you think about this mindset that you really have to develop? how were you when you were a kid? You come from this kind of family who has a lot of success, who really have a lot of goals. For example, I come from a family, as I told you, that didn't have money
Yes,
because, yeah, so we have to work a lot. So that's why I developed this mindset because I
yes.
I knew that I had to work on myself, and that's why I reached some goals. What about you? Do you come from this kind of family? Tell us a little bit about
Mm.
your background.
Um, I would say that I definitely have more the mindset of my father than my mother. My father was always a go-getter, and we grew up in South Africa when it was a very privileged world to live in, where it wasn't equal, should we just say. There wasn't as much equality as there is there now. And my father, what I love is he made the decision to move to Hong Kong when we were very young, in order for us to kind of have a new beginning. And then from Hong Kong, after 3.5 years, we moved to Australia. So I have to say, I've always pivoted off my dad's tenacity and drive to create the best for his family. His why was all about keeping his family safe and abundant. My mother had more of a 1960s mindset where the provider provided and she looked after the kids at home. So I can't say my mum's been a role model to try different things, but she still has been a beautiful role model as a mother to share or showcase to us about love and forgiveness and, you know, being a great steward of your home and being a great customer service orientated, like a nice person to other people. So I guess I've pivoted off my dad. Have I had a privileged life? Yeah, I probably have more than others, but not really, because there were still behind closed doors issues. There were still other issues. Don't think that everything is sunshine, lollipops, and roses on the outside. It can look really good, but I'll be honest with you, there was all hell breaking loose behind closed doors. And so, as a young kid, learning to navigate that and almost be, at 10 years old, be a parent of my own parents to try and keep them together wasn't very easy to do, but it helped me become a great leader. So I do believe that if only we could look at whatever situation you're in right now, if you don't like it, look for the lessons, because remember, God is trying to prepare us for our next career. Whatever God's divine plan is for you, even though you may be in a compromising situation, you are building characteristics that you don't even realize you need to be a phenomenal leader to others. So it can look, you had a very different upbringing, but look at the version you've become now, fully self-supporting and helping others think in a different way so that they too can take their power back and be great leaders of themselves and therefore great leaders of others.
Yeah, yeah, right. So thank you for sharing this. And as you told us, you also used to work in the customer service for Qantas.
I did, yes.
Yeah. So how was this change from Qantas to your own practice?
Okay, that was where I had the steepest learning curve, because having worked for Qantas, I've traveled all over the world. It was actually a very prestigious job. It is here still in Australia. Oh, you work for Qantas because it's a life-term job, right? It's a long-term job. And when I clipped my wings and moved to America and made a decision I was going to be a business owner, oh, it's a whole new mindset. Because for starters, you're the boss, you're the CEO, you've got to bring in the money. There's no every 2 weeks a paycheck coming in, right? And you have to discipline yourself to do income producing activity every day. And there's a lot of moving parts you have to put together to um to show up. To show up as a different version of yourself. And what happened was when I started my new business, oh, I did everything on the outside right. That was easy. New website. Oh, I'll do a marketing program. Oh, I'll get nice business cards. Oh, I'll do a bit of networking. Oh, provide a course. But little did I know, I never changed my identity to be a successful business owner. So I was acting as if, but inside my subconscious mind was still the old self-image of a flight attendant. And I couldn't understand, why was I not attracting clients? Why did I find it so hard to ask people to pay me and to have a sales conversation? And that was really, I really had to go through a lot of hardship and really hit rock bottom before I discovered Bob. And Bob was saying, no, Tanya, the results you're getting are not because of your effort on the outside. You just don't have the right mindset to be a successful business owner. And of course, he showed me how. And Napoleon Hill does it in his book, Think and Grow Rich. You've got to start thinking differently. Because when you're an employee of a company, it's sunshine, lollipops, roses. I just have to go to work 5 days a week. I'll do my work for 8 hours, maybe 10. I'll get my check and then I can switch off. I can switch off. You never switch off as a business owner, but then you're doing what you love to do, right? So, um, and the funny thing is, once you become a business owner you and you're doing your own thing, it's so deeply fulfilling, and you get paid more, and you can design your own hours, that it doesn't feel like work. And now that my awareness is different, and I am of a business owner, I just can't go back to being an employee of a company. I think I'd be bored to death. I'd be so frustrated by other people's thinking, because they've all got their own belief systems you're dealing with. So,
Yeah, and also you are in other frequency. That's why I said when your mind
yeah.
expands, anything make you go back in the way that you were before, because your mind is expanded, and each time you meet people with different frequencies, you meet people who you also can do business with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very important to invest in ourselves. And we go back to the big topic, and it is really interesting because we have here a lot of coaches, therapists, mentors that they follow my channel. So, what could you say to these people when they say, "No, I can do my by myself"? And what is the difficulty to talk about the price of your own programs? Because if you develop your program, as you said before, you have this right to ask for more because you invested first in you. There are
Yes.
some people who says, okay, I'm gonna charge this amount for my program. Okay, did you invest that amount? No. So why you are gonna charge that? So let's talk a little bit about
Yeah,
it.
the pricing. So I feel that if you are a business owner, you actually create a lot of your own intellectual property, and we don't value it enough. So that's the first thing. You've got to catch up with how valuable your intellectual property is compared to that's worth its weight in gold. So you have to own that. Like, this is better than working for a company, because this has come from God, and I've created it into a form, whether it's an online course or something, that's worth its weight in gold. Okay, so that's number one, why you have the right to charge what you would love to charge, because of that knowing inside of you. The second thing is that to become an expert in your field, whatever you're doing, that requires you to go first. You need to be investing in yourself first, so that you become that expert that can help others. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of money to actually invest in you. So when you have paid the price, and there is a price, time and money, then you have every right to ask a client to pay you a substantial amount of money, because you know you're in integrity. Listen, I've gone first, and I've spent over this amount of money, and I'm only asking you to pay this amount of money. It's not that much when I've
What I
paid
paid,
this
yeah.
amount.
Yeah, it's different. It's nothing.
It's nothing compared to, in fact, becoming a business owner, an entrepreneur with your own intellectual property. We actually spend more than even a college degree to get to our level of expertise. And that's where you've got to acknowledge that and believe that. So when you're asking for 10, 20,000, it's nothing compared to what you've spent over 5 years, over 10 years. That's what you've got to own. When you've convinced yourself of your worth, I promise you, everyone else will, because you've convinced yourself, you will attract clients that will love paying that sort of money, because you believe you are worth it.
Yeah, yeah, love that. Love that. And also, there are also sometimes, for example, some of my clients says, I would like to do it, but I don't have the money now.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's talk in a month. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk in when my baby is 20,
Yep.
let's say. No, I'm just kidding about this. So, what could you say about this?
Well, I often say, well, what do you think is going to change in the next month for you to find the money? What's going to change in your life in the next month for you to be in the frequency of money? Because I'll come back in a month's time, but you will still be the same version of yourself. Yet, the moment you make a decision, even if you don't have all the money, but you put down a deposit, I guarantee you the money's going to show up. But you have to go first. And I'll give you an example of that. With Bob, my first investment was 15,500. I didn't have the money, but I knew Bob could help me. I knew that it was my thinking that was causing all my suffering, and I wasn't getting results. So I put down, this was the October, I put down the 2,500, and the investment was 15,500. And I was told by one of the Bob's coaches, you have to pay in full
Yeah.
by the 1st of February. And he said, and that money you've just put down, you're not getting it back. So it was like, well, there's no going back. And I remember getting off the call and going, what have I done? Oh my God. So I hit the terror barrier. I felt sick. I nearly passed out because I had buyer's remorse. And it really was my old thinking around money that was coming up. This tremendous thinking, oh, I'm going to get into trouble. And what have you done? You've wasted money. You're never going to get this back. And then I just allowed myself to feel the feelings because it was buyer's remorse coming in. And then over time, I started to say, oh, well, I don't know where the money's going to come from, but I know it's here. I know it's here. It's going to be all right. And then I kept thinking, well, what assets do I have anyway right now? I guess I could sell the car. Yeah, I'll sell the car. That means, okay, I'll be without a car in LA, but I'll be okay. But I really want to work with Bob because I know he can help me. I just know he's got the winning formula, which for you is Napoleon Hill. Remember,
Yeah.
Bob's Bible was Think and Grow Rich. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing anyway. It's the same material. It's
Yeah.
just coming out in a different way. Okay. So within a week, suddenly I get this call from Australia. And it was from an old boss who I used to work with at Qantas. And he contacted me and said, I've been looking for you, Tanya. I've seen you online. You're doing a lot in customer service. I've got a job for you. Huh? He said, yes. Can you put a customer service program together? Come to Australia in December and teach it to all these. He was working for a big supermarket brand. Over 4,000 people, you need to teach it. So I went, okay, not knowing how to do it or anything. But I was like, so I got an associate. I hired an associate in Australia. We built the program. I flew the 1st of December. I delivered the program. It was finished in a month. And I said, and I want to be paid in US dollars. So by the time I paid out the associate I'd hired, the Airbnb, the travel costs, it was the exact money, the difference owing to make up the lump sum
Yeah.
I had to pay by the 1st of February. And it just showcased to me that once you make the decision and you burn your boats, the money will always show up, but you must go first.
Yeah, yeah, right. Love this. And that's the same that happened to me. I wrote, in my golf cart,
Yes,
April
yes.
2023, I wrote everything and I didn't have the money. I didn't. I just wrote on my card. And then when I went to Proctor Gallagher in order to ask, because I wanted to get there. And then they told me $32,000. And I said, right
Mhm.
now, no, in the future, maybe. And then I saw this, the Napoleon Hill, and I decided to call them. And I didn't have the money because I used to spend everything, my mindset, everything in shoes, in beautiful bags, in a lot of traveling, and I didn't have the money. But when I decided that I wanted to be a coach, I decided, we come here to the decision, I
Yeah.
decided, then I started just not to spend all the money. But I didn't really save. I didn't have the mindset that I'm saving in order to invest in order to be a coach. I didn't have that mindset. I said, just, I'm not gonna spend everything. And then when I call, there to NHI, They told me the exact amount of money that I have in my bank account. The exact amount of money. I said, oh my goodness, this is for me. And I did it. So that's very important to say here, because when we decide, we manifest the money. We
We do.
manifest. So that's really, really important to say. So that's why we have these principles, as you said, but Proctor's, Napoleon Hill is the same material, is the same,
Mm-hmm.
the principles. So it really works.
It
That's
does.
important. Yeah, that's important to say. And and now we have really enjoyed a lot about this conversation. We learned a lot, and for sure, the girls that are gonna see the video, they are gonna have also gold from this. So we hope that they really applied everything that we are saying here, because we are giving some tips, little tips
Mm-hmm.
with all of this. So there is something that you would like to add about goals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very much. And it's highlighted in Think and Grow Rich, and it's highlighted in a lot of in Bob's teachings, is a goal card. This is the winning formula, having a goal card. Because, there's around about 96 people that don't even have a goal. They don't even know where they're going. And you meet them, you meet some of the people and help them make a decision about having a project that the subconscious mind can work on. So 96 of people, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, I'm going to do my vision board. Yeah, I think I'm going to just think about what would I like to, achieve this year. Okay. But that's it. That's what they think about. Some may put it on a vision board, but the magic starts to happen when you write it down. Actually write out the specifics: when, how much, all the specifics of what you would love to attract. And about 3% of people do that. They write it actually out in details. So when you write, you think in pictures. So you're starting to take this fantasy and turn it into a theory. But the people that actually, 1%, they actually write it on a goal card and carry this with them everywhere. I mean, I put it in my bra. I'm not afraid to tell you that. It's like a second skin, and I touch it. This is my business cards. I just put on my goals. I made another one today for something else, but I go to bed. I actually hold it when I go to bed at night, because what happens is when you physically touch it, it actually sends a message up your arm and activates the positive brain cells in your mind to remind your subconscious mind all the time. It's a form of auto-suggestion. Carry it. I love carrying it. I love touching it, because Bob taught me, write it and get it on a physical card. Get it on the card, a business card. Don't steal them if you have to. And take it from a coffee shop and put your own thing on it. But I carry it everywhere I go. And every time I'm touching it, the picture comes up. The picture comes up. The picture comes up. And remember, when you have a picture, you create order in your mind. And if you want to live in a heavenly state, the first place to start is to have a picture. Because when you have a picture, the subconscious mind gets busy working on that picture. all day long. And this is how, if you keep, this is what Bob, I'm only sharing what Bob did. Bob, this is a true story. Bob was earning $4,000 a year as a fireman, and he owed $6,000 in debt. And he met Ray Stanford, and he was a fireman. And Ray Stanford, who was studying Think and Grow Rich, gave Bob the Bible. Bob called the Think and Grow Rich the Bible. And it's highlighted in Think and Grow Rich. Have a goal card, have a goal. So Bob wrote on it, I would love to earn, and he gave himself 5 years. I'd love to be earning 25,000 in 5 years. Well, because he was carrying this around everywhere, right? He started to, put the project inside his subconscious mind. And he was ridiculed. He was criticized by all the fireys at the fire department. What's that, Proctor? What you doing, Proctor? What you doing reading that? And within 2 months, an idea came to him to start a cleaning business. I mean, he didn't know the how. That's the crazy part. How he was going to manifest the money, but the how showed up once the project had got in his subconscious mind. And then he was off to the races. He had to have the courage, though, to go and borrow the money to get secondhand cleaning equipment. But he knew that that was the plan, and it came as a flash across his mind, and he acted on that. And then within that first year, he made 175,000. I mean, that's a huge jump from earning 4,000 as a fiery, huge. So that is something very important I want to add to this conversation today. To support anyone, are you carrying a goal card? And if not, I highly recommend you get one, and it becomes like a second skin to you. This is when the unseen forces will come in and start to make things happen.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Because when I wrote on my gold card, I manifested the money to invest, and to be a coach. And also, when I invested, and I didn't know how, I said, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to do my own, a portal, manifestation portal. And, I wrote this just a year ago. And now I have my book. My book,
Wow,
Tu realidad es un
congratulations.
espejo, your reality is your mirror. Okay, it's my book. I manifested my book. Just, I wrote this 1 year ago. And then I manifested this that just came yesterday. And, it is also, I really love that because you really share all of this. I did my own, let me show you my
Oh,
own
it's beautiful.
my
Look
own
at you.
portal, and you here can write. And, it's really, I didn't know how to do. So that's why it's believe limitless, without limits, also because I started everything studying by myself with a proctor, and then decided also to invest in Napoleon Hill. So I did this, and I didn't know how to do
That
it.
is phenomenal. There you go. There
I
you
did.
go.
I
But the
didn't have any
idea
idea.
came to you, didn't it? The
Yeah,
idea came to you to
yeah.
do it.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's so
Wow.
important. It's so important to have a gold card and also other tools that we use here in our programs. So it really works. So thank you, Tanya, for sharing everything with us. I'm so happy that we could share also this material with other people, and
Mm.
even with people who they don't know, about this material, because, everything of this is just in English. In Spanish, there is just a bit. So that's why thank you for sharing with
Yeah.
us all of this.
But you
Um,
can also put it in Spanish as a transcript, which is really good on YouTube as well, in
really,
Spanish.
it is
Yes.
possible to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I'm gonna do
Yes.
it. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
So thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. And
Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
see you
And
tomorrow.
tomorrow we are going to talk about self-image. And we have changed
Yes.
a lot of self-images because, you were working as a Qantas. I used to work as an English teacher. Now I'm a coach. Now you are a coach. And we are business owners. So we changed
Yes.
our self-image, and we are going to talk about this tomorrow.
I can't wait. This is my favorite subject. It is phenomenal, right? Once you've got the goal, you have to create an identity that is in alignment with the goal. And I love talking about this. So
Oh
I
my
look forward to our
goodness.
conversation tomorrow. Make sure you come back, okay?
Okay, thank you, Tanya. See
You're
you
welcome, honey. See
tomorrow.
you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye, guys.